Welcome back to NSC Fan TV. First game of the season, away, 1-0 win against the Seattle Sounders. And I'm going to start by just making a quick observation.
Okay.
We, last season, kind of got down on Gary Smith for the 4-4-2. We called it a dogma.
Yeah.
But this is a dogma that bit some Sounders.
It bit some Sounders. it bit some Seattle butt. I mean, it...
So,
defensively, I was just watching the whole game. They would get the ball down the wings, and they would run into an issue where everybody was marked.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't worried when the ball was in, our side of the pitch, because I thought, look, everyone's in position. Everyone's where they need to be.
Such a disciplined defense.
Yeah.
Such a disciplined defense.
It really showed that game against a team from a whole nother side of the country.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's exactly it. Well,
another conference.
A whole other conference.
Another conference. This is going to be interesting.
So 4-4-2 for the win. That's what I wanted. That's the big news for me.
4-4-2 for the win.
That's the big news for me.
Yeah.
4-4-2 for the win.
For me, the big news is no stadium.
No stadium.
No stadium yet. So we've got February 27th, first game, season opener away, and it's going to be until May 1st that we have our first home game.
Patience is a virtue, friend.
Patience is a virtue.
You're going to have some virtuous folks.
You better have a lot of virtuous people. That's the timing. I don't know. I mean, I don't have much to say about the logistics behind it because I don't know. But I think it's at least interesting to note that that's quite a bit of time before a home game.
It is.
That's a lot of burning the candle at both ends away.
I think that's right, and I hope that we will save a little bit and be able to, we not burn ourselves out on the road. I think that they're all spaced out pretty well, so they're not going to be kind of like travel all the time. They'll be able to travel, get back, train, and have time at home. My concern would be imagine a 2-week span where they play 4 games or something like that.
Yeah, that would be
playing on Wednesday night.
Yeah. And going across, and think about this too. If you're coming back home for training, I mean, you're going way back out, all the way to Seattle. That's across the country. 2 time zones, man. I got to say props to the people who made it to the game.
Yeah.
NSC fans who made it all the way to Seattle. I mean, we saw
awesome.
that one guy holding the colors up. I was just he had the flag.
Well done.
Let's go. No,
I
was excited to see that. Yeah.
Well done. Good to see folks travel for that.
Across the country. That's probably as far as you can go. I mean, that's
maybe Vancouver.
Alaska.
Maybe Vancouver.
Vancouver would be a little bit further north.
Yeah. Have to take a passport for that one.
Yeah. Cross country.
So no stadium for us yet, but I just saw a video today of the turf being rolled out for the stadium.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
So turf in the new stadium. So all the seats are in.
Okay.
And the turf is getting laid today.
I did see the seats. I did see the seats, but I didn't see the turf. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about the big news from the big moment in the game. Let's talk about the big moment in the game.
You mean where I have to eat my
Anibal Godoy! Anibal Godoy! Number 20. What a great goal. And a superb assist from Leal. I mean, just a zipper of a ball across it was maybe 7 yards out consistently. It was amazing.
No, that was great. At first, in my mind, Bunbury had the assist at first. Because in the build-up, he drew so many people towards him and got the ball through to Leal. Yeah. And then he just worked his magic on it because... Yeah.
So there were so many moments where it looked like Bunbury was in there.
He busts forward. Yeah. I mean, go ahead. Sorry, I'm getting excited because he's probably the player I'm most excited about.
He was a great addition.
No,
he's a super addition.
Undoubtedly.
So Bunbury, I think, both created the chance for Leal to be able to move the ball across.
Yeah.
But he was also crashing the goal. But as the ball was coming in, he pulled up like he was thinking that the ball was going to get checked back to him. And I think that some defenders actually pulled up with him instead of that. So I think that
he may have
actually created some space for Godoy to be able to go to cut in or to go outside with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So great. That was great play, but I think that he was also just he and Sapong were both just regularly getting into the heads of and sort of getting really kind of rough with those Seattle Central defenders. And I just thought that was great. I mean, they clearly were ruffled. They clearly looked like they were on their back heel. Yeah.
And their forwards didn't have anything to say about the 4-4-2. So on our end of it, I mean, yeah, we just kept it locked down in the middle. I mean, that 4-4-2, it's just.
I think that the only player that was really, I think, had any real positive play from Seattle was Rusnak.
Okay. And you have to remind me who that is.
Well, he's the sort of the tall Slovakian fella.
That's right.
And this is his first season with them. He was one of the stars at Salt Lake last year that kind of kept him alive. And he's just such a dynamic kind of attacking midfielder type, kind of plays kind of how like Leal plays.
Like he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's kind of everywhere and kind of moves in the front. And but I think that really he maybe rolled on and had a couple chances and looked good, but like nothing really. I mean, there were no moments where I looked at him and was like, they're really threatening right now.
And we gave up a handful of corners too.
We did,
and it was okay because the defense had it locked down. I mean,
Zimmerman's towering headers. I think that there were at least 3 of them that I saw where it was just like, there was nobody in the wrong colors near that ball.
Yeah.
Cracked it out.
I thought Mukhtar had a good game too.
I thought Mukhtar had a really positive game.
Yeah. Although I noticed not as much hold-up play because there were times where there'd be a through ball to him, and I don't know what it was about the Seattle defense, but he wasn't able to hold it up for long enough for like Sapong to get on the other end. But
so I wonder about that. Do you think that he was playing further forward than he normally plays?
I think it felt like it because
it felt like it to me.
Yeah. But with the 4-4-2, that's difficult.
Yeah.
To have like, and sometimes it looks more like a 4-4-1-1, where almost like Tottenham. Yeah. When Harry Kane was like great back in the day. Yeah. I mean, he's coming back now, but where he would just kind of sit and wait.
Right.
And
so Sapong is the sort of the point one, and then we had Mukhtar kind of playing behind him. So in that regard, it's sort of standard 10 role, but he's still seeing a little further forward than I normally thought that I'd see him.
I think that's right. And even Sapong, there were times where he was further forward than Sapong. Like when he'd get the ball and I'd be like, okay, that's fine, but then nobody's in the middle.
There were 2 or 3 times where it's like he was so far forward, it was like a 3v1, or like it was him versus like 3 Seattle defenders. Certainly in the first half, it was just like sometimes it's like, is he just taking on the entire defense? Where is everybody?
Yeah, that's how I felt most of the first half, if I'm being honest. Yeah, where like, I just would see a chance maybe crop up, but it's because he was way downfield. Yeah, and then nobody could get back.
So there was a little bit of bunker ball getting played in the first half, and you know what? I'm getting 1 over. I'm 1 over.
You're 1 over by the 4-4-2.
I'm 1 over by the 4-4-2.
Well, here's the thing about a 4-4-2. As a longtime Arsenal fan, part of the 4-4-2 is that sometimes you have low scoring games because of it.
Oh yeah. Because
you hold things down so well in the back, and you wait for something to actually stick up forward. I mean, and it.
So the worry that I have with our play with there are 2 elements to our game that worries me.
Okay.
And it's a convergence of these 2. It's the 4-4-2, which has kind of got a sort of a really heavily loaded back.
Yeah.
And not quite as much sort of, hey, we can sort of push folks out on the wings and really run them up and down the wings. Yeah. So you end up with a little bit of crowding. And if we're playing out of the back, as we normally do, that draws them out. But if we're not playing sort of folks really, really wide, like how we would do if we played 3s, my concern regularly is just that we're just way too narrow.
And crowd it.
Yeah, and playing up out of the back with a crowded field yields bad results.
It yields bad results, and it leaves you open to counterattacks in situations where because it draws them forward, which is a double-edged sword. Your play needs to be no, your play needs to be tight if you're going to do that out of the back, and you're drawing people closer and closer to your goal.
Right.
I mean, Liverpool's got. I mean, I hate to keep doing the EPL references to BPL, but. I mean, Liverpool's got it down, City's got it down where they draw players out and then they send them out with the 4-3-3, send them down the wings, and then it's a wrap. But for us in the 4-4-2, it gets a little cloggy sometimes.
It got a little. There were a couple times that it felt a little cloggy. We turned it over. We turned it over deep in our side.
Yeah, and that's always. But one virtue of it is that they're already back.
We're already back.
Sometimes it's okay.
We've got a solid defense, and so the trade-off is that we risk turning the ball over on our side, but we do draw them out. And we do have really fantastic ball handlers, and I think that the other newcomer that I just think that Godoy out further on the left, and Davis had such a good game. He is such a good passer. Between he and McCarty, who McCarty didn't hold the ball quite as much in this game. He kind of played that screen in front of the defense.
I think that's right. I noticed that about McCarty, but Davis is I think that he had a solid game. Yeah, I mean they held it down. I thought it looked like a really solid midfield. I thought that we looked much more solid in the midfield than Seattle did, and I kind of like Godoy further out. Like honestly, maybe that's part of why this situation could even happen for the goal in like the end of the second half. Where I was like, Godoy's able to just play out a little more. That may be where he wants to be anyway. Yeah,
I think that he can be a more aggressive player.
Yeah,
I think that he's got a sort of he may have an engine that requires a little bit more sort of get revved up. But I think that he's got a really good top speed, and so and I think that there were a couple times where like out on that sort of left side with Seattle, there were a number of times, especially in the second half, where I was like, he's just got that left or that right, their right back's number. He's just blowing by him, and their right back's having to clip him and push him out wide and stuff like that. So I just, there may be a sort of a lineup benefit with Godoy being further out and having Davis and McCarty in the middle like that. So if we go 4-4-2, that might be a great setup.
I think so, because that adds some more power to the wings too.
That's true.
That's a big part of it, because you're right. I think he takes a bit to get going, but his acceleration's low, but his top speed's
high.
It's really high, and it's dangerous for them,
All right, so I had 4-4-2 for the win. The new kids, Davis and Bunbury. We talked about them. We talked about Godoy's goal.
Great goal.
Great goal. Great assist. Great build-up play. It was good. It was a good team goal.
I think the build-up play was great. Yeah, Bunbury. I'm just so excited to see him play. I can't wait for May. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
He's explosive. He draws defenders, and he didn't even get to. He played for 20 minutes.
He played maybe 20 minutes. I think
20
that's
minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Like 25 with the stoppage time, which I was like, okay, do we need that much?
5 minutes, you're killing me here.
That much?
5 minutes, you're killing me here.
Yeah. Do we need that much?
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see him here home.
I mean, I can't wait.
I cannot wait.
I cannot wait. And we'll make sure that we'll have a video of us. Hopefully, we'll have like a little tour or something like that. We'll also be able to tell our watchers and our folks who want to participate in videos where to find us.
Yeah, where we'll be, because
let's talk about, you might say, the sort of the elephant in the room, wearing a number 9 jersey.
Oh, okay. I just kind of forgot about him. I talked about the Bunbury stuff, but then he.
Well, there was a second forward who came on. So you remember that other forward who came on?
So I'll put it this way: we were talking, and when Bunbury saw the sign go up, saw his number called, and you said, "Not Loba."
Not Loba.
Like the new guy, brand new guy.
Yeah. Why is Bunbury coming on whenever we have a designated player for that position?
Who just got good old fashioned number 9.
Who got his 9? That's the 9.
He got his. That's the spot.
That's the 9. We pulled off Sapong and we put on somebody who's not wearing 9.
Yeah.
When we have someone who's wearing 9, and that's the job.
It's supposed to be the job.
Okay. So that was Gary Smith's call.
Yeah, it was the first game. It was, maybe he was more sure of. Maybe he's trying to test stuff out. I don't know.
Maybe.
But maybe this just proves me right.
Well, so what is it that you were right about?
That he's got shoes that he can't fill with the number 9, and with the dedication allotted to him as a designated player, getting the 9 spot, and being paid that much.
Yeah.
I mean, all those 3 things together, you expect somebody who can start.
Designated player, 9, money.
Designated 9. Designated number, another number.
Yes, big number.
A smaller number and a large much larger number. Yeah.
So
it's disappointing.
So he was on for maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15. I think so. It was 10 for the. I think they came on at 81 or something like that. So, what'd you think of his play? We saw about 15 minutes of play from Lobo.
I didn't see anything worth noting.
I think they had one successful pass. It was backwards. He looked sluggish.
I
didn't see a lot of running from him. Yeah. I didn't see a lot of running, and maybe.
A lot of nothing. Honestly.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and so
he's not a good point person. Like
I worry about that.
I don't think you can trust him to just like, okay, if you're playing long, let's say you got Sapong over here, Lobo over here. On average, I would just say I would be a lot happier seeing Sapong on it than Lobo.
Me too. And maybe we're just sort of just too used to watching CJ Sapong run his legs off.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Where it's like maybe there's an illusion that got created by like having number 17 just run.
That it made it seem like he was a hustler.
Just pooped. Yeah. I think like maybe somebody else just doesn't look like a hustler, but maybe he actually is running.
Maybe he's actually
there's a weird
Well, actually, the way that it was shown on TV, we actually got to see more of the pitch.
Yeah, it's true.
I think than other games.
Well, we were watching on different networks.
We were.
I was watching on ESPN Plus because I wasn't in town here. I had to do the stream.
So I saw the logo. I thought it was zoomed out quite a bit, and I think even with that, I didn't see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to go back and look at his heat map, maybe, but I didn't see Loba running around at all. And I'm not saying he needs to just hustle and for no reason.
But you need to be open for outlet stuff. I mean, so it's like, again, we were kind of bunkered up for the last 10 minutes. Fine.
Makes sense.
There's not going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come your way. But at the very least, be in a spot where folks can get the ball to you.
Yeah.
Or maybe the job was, be at this point. Your job, here's the possibility. Your job is to be at this point. Don't stray from it because that's where our outlets go. You're gonna attract defenders? Awesome.
That's
attract
good
defenders.
We need them.
We need them not places. Yeah.
So that could be true.
So that's possible.
That could be true.
That might be the explanation, but it's still like as a viewer of the game, you're like, don't we need somebody hustling into space so that outlet passes don't just get sent to the defense? This is weird to me.
And I guess my second follow-up question to all of the discussion: would you rather see him start or Mukhtar start? I mean, that's the real question.
There's not even a question.
I know.
There is a question.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you look at the roster, you look at the lineup. Yeah. Who would he start for? Like, who would you take out and put him in for if he's got the 9?
If we played three in the front, maybe I could see him.
Three in the front.
If we played
sure.
3 in the front.
No, that would.
If we played 3 in the front, I could do that.
But then you'd probably be giving up like Leao.
Yeah, we'd give up Leao.
You know what I mean? Like that.
I wouldn't take him over Leao. I wouldn't take him over Leao.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I thought you said you would. I was
no
way.
No. I mean, if we played 3 in the front, I'd put Leao in or put Bunbury in. Okay.
Yeah, at this point with Bunbury. Yeah, put Bunbury and Mukhtar Sapong up front. What are you doing? So then have Leao like as more of a reserve forward midfield role, but
yeah. So very sad. I mean, speaking of sort of options in the front, very sad that Rios is gone, and he went to Carolina. Is that right?
I think that's right.
I think that's right. Yeah. So he went to Carolina. So sad to see him go. He's a speedster. He's a strong player. Man, and that goal against Atlanta.
Yeah, he's just so fast. I mean, he's fast, and as a sub being that fast is deadly.
Yeah,
because everyone else is weighted down from having
fresh legs.
Yeah.
So but I think that we look great in the front. I think that with Davis's addition was a really positive addition because it allowed McCarty to play the defensive role he needed to play, and it allowed Godoy to play the more attacking role, and we had someone distributing the ball effectively. And so I think that so far I give Gary Smith an A. For the off season, or maybe Gary didn't make these choices, but I give NSC an A for right now. This is really looking like great off-season choices.
The off-season choices have been excellent. I mean, I'm still bummed about Johnston not being there on the right wing, but honestly, for what we've got with Bunbury, Davis as additions, I'm just really excited.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost a few. It wasn't limited to Johnston. You just talking about Rios. I mean,
Johnston and Rios.
Those are big, but I'm excited, and for off-season preparation, I give them an A too.
Yeah.
I think I am worried a bit about all of the away games. I mean, they're spread out like you're saying,
Yeah.
But nevertheless, May for the first home opener. That's
a long time. That's a long time off.
That's a far. We've got all of March now, all of April.
So I wonder if So I almost want to talk to it. I wish I had a friend in Austin. You know what I mean? Because they kind of had the same situation with us, right?
Yeah.
It's like they just were road warriors for the first third of the season, and then they got a ton of home games, which must have been just awesome. Could you imagine just home game after home game? It's gonna be so great, man.
As a fan, for one, that's great. I mean. But then also for the players, just knowing that they don't have to travel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's... Yeah. Especially because, we haven't talked about it much, but brand new conference. Maybe that, unless you have another major point.
Oh, no, I got other points, but we're going to talk about the conference.
Okay.
New conference.
Maybe we should... Let's go to those points
first. So I've got... So I wanted to talk about two other things. I wanted to talk about our back four.
Okay.
And we've already kind of talked about our back four. I think that, and then I also wanted to talk about some of the stuff that came out after the game, the power rankings.
Oh yeah, that's right, I did.
So the back four, I think that Lovitz had a consistently good game. He was regularly coming forward, which was one of the concerns that I myself have had about the 4-4-2, which is that the fours with the two on the outside don't get. Lovitz is somebody who is a value added player whenever he plays on the outside and can come forward.
He can,
And he did it consistently.
From that left wing, he also, I think he's fast enough and has a good enough left to where those crosses come in and he just pulls people.
Yeah.
And I love it. It wins corners.
It wins corners.
It wins a ton of corners.
And it bends so beautifully. He's got great control of the ball.
It wins corners. If their defense is playing well, usually at worst it wins us corners, if not gives us outright chances.
Certain chances.
Because that left is insane.
Yeah,
it deletes defenders. It takes them out of the game.
Yeah.
When it comes in with a nice little arc, it's
Romney. The Iron Man. The Iron Man's back. And again another game where it was balls were coming in the center. He was collecting them. He was sending him back out. I think that he has great communication with McCarty. There were a lot of these kind of moments where it's just really good control. There was this defensive game, and then there was his control game.
Yeah, that's right. With managing players and knowing where people are at and keeping them marked. And making sure you know where your defenders are too.
Right.
And they knew where they were at. I think McCarty's great at that. And
it's just good. I think it's just good communication in the back. Yeah. We talk about Zimmerman and his.
Well, I was about to say he's still coming up. He's still coming up. You can't stop it. If something's going on down the pit, he's going. He's gonna be there.
And so I wonder if there. So he's still and so that on the one hand is one of the awesome things about his game, and also one of the things where it's just you kind of have that heart in your mouth. You're like,
you just hope where are you going? Where are you going? That too much doesn't start happening with their forwards and.
Yeah, I hope that another team's coaching staff is watching this. That's the thing that I would do is I'd have some sort of hold up play or have some moment where it's Zimmerman can't help and you're and you've got if you were Seattle, it's see Zimmerman coming forward, it's Rusnak just needs to be on his horses.
If he's on it, then no, if he gets that's right.
And so I wonder about whether or not that's a kind of maybe a kind of a thing that's going to bite us, because again it bit us at the end of the playoffs in 2020. Watching Jossie Zardes just blow right through and completely hold up Nashville defense and score in the 115th minute or something insane like that. And why? And it was because Zimmerman got pulled up because of him wanting to contribute, and that's a virtue, but it's also a vice.
It's double-edged sword. Yeah, it's great when it works, but when it
don't, it's terrible.
It doesn't. You cry a little bit. Yeah.
So the one player that the one in the back that we've had the most was Miller, and again, big shoes to fill because Alistair Johnson was such a great right back.
He was a liability. To say the least. Yeah, I don't mean to be just outright critical, but that's being outright critical. I thought he was a liability.
Yeah.
I thought when it came down to it,
there were a couple shaky moments with him.
Yeah.
There were a couple shaky moments with him.
That's not a spot where you just want.
And I think that it was Lodero who he came on for Seattle, and I think that there were 2 or 3 times where he just ran straight at Miller, and Miller gave up a lot of ground, and that's okay. but it was one of these like, man, like just bailing on the ball there. And now again, that may just be the way that the defense works. It's like, okay, if we're going to bunker up, we're going to give a lot of ground, we're going to get tight. But there were just moments where it's like, man, like if there was any moment in these moments in the game, it was whenever folks were dribbling at Miller.
Where I just got worried.
He didn't give up anything.
That's true,
Yeah.
and you could be right. I haven't thought about that. That
Yeah.
part of him just holding in could be part of that, the 4-4-2 mentality. When things get dicey, you just close in and you try to keep it from getting,
right. Don't get out of shape
into the
there.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I worry about that is, what if they go just head on? Like, what do we do? What if they don't approach from the wing?
Yeah.
I mean, part of the closing in is fine, but if they see it coming and find a hole,
right,
all they have to do is get someone who's clinical with it. I mean,
so I have to say that like there are some players that just don't look fast.
mm-hmm.
Eric Miller just doesn't look fast.
No,
but that may just be my eye, right? It's like maybe it's just like what I look at. And it's like, he just doesn't look fast. Maybe he's fast. Maybe there's something about me underestimating him, misestimating him. Misunderestimating is not a thing to say.
Well, you know what? I'm going to make it a thing.
Okay.
Misunderestimating, where I'm like, maybe I understand, but also I misjudge. But maybe he knows he's not fast. And some players just play to their strengths.
Yeah,
and if he knows he's not fast, he's not going to be able to keep up with, a forward that could out-dribble him or can just blow past him. Maybe he's just going to back in and just say, I'll contribute by being a body closer to the center. If something happens, I'll clear it. Whatever, but
I never saw him mishandle a ball. So
that's what's most important.
Yeah,
I think when it comes down to
no turnovers in the back.
Yeah,
especially if we're playing out of the back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's essential.
I guess the difference is maybe just sort of, again, this is my eye, which is that I just got used. I mean, now again, Alistair Johnson was not a great defender.
No, when it came down to it, his virtue was his
virtue was his speed, and so he could recover. He could play. He could recover.
He could get back.
Yeah,
I mean, getting back to and just being on someone's ass.
Right,
that's useful.
Right,
even if you weren't great at it, I think he did know when to commit, though.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't a great. I think you're right. His defense wasn't as great. That wasn't his strong suit as a defender, ironically, but he knew when to commit.
Yeah,
I think he knew when to tackle, and it was typically I agreed with his decisions.
Yeah,
on when to go down and commit. Otherwise, he would just stay with this guy.
Right.
So I think, when it came down to it, defense wasn't his strong suit.
But so the good news is that it's a shutout on the road against arguably the strongest team in the MLS.
Yeah.
And there were a couple moments where we were nervous, but nothing broke. And so in this regard, this is just nothing but excellent news. And so for as nervous as we are watching Miller, it's partly because of the fact that he's just kind of still, by my estimate, kind of an untested quantity. We'll see. Fast forward, 2 or 3, 4 weeks, and if he continues playing like he did, I won't be worried.
I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll see him on the wing. I'll see him
be worried.
hunkered back down in the middle, and I probably won't care.
Watch him burn up some grass, catching up to somebody, and just be like, I'll eat my words about him not looking. I'll be like, look at how fast that guy who doesn't look fast ran.
He doesn't look fast. He looks really
He does
slow.
not look fast.
He kind of hobbles a little bit. But if he knows that, good, But
so,
the power rankings.
Week 1 power rankings. Number 1, NYCFC.
Which... Okay.
That is an appropriate judgment. Nashville, Seattle.
Yep.
They spell from first to third after a 1-0 loss to us. New England and Atlanta.
Atlanta looking good.
And Joseph Martinez just showing up. And so all the other ones where it's like, okay, good for them, and like, I'm kind of, that good for them, and I hope Seattle does fine and things like that, and good for New England to sort of turn.
Atlanta. What? It's just like no,
not them. They can't be good.
The other ones, I was like, New York. I'm like, okay, you expected most of those, and it made sense, but then.
Man, I hate Atlanta.
And
Joseph Martinez in particular, I just don't like the guy.
Yeah.
I just don't like the guy.
Easy to dislike.
I just don't like the guy. Okay, well, we talked about the power rankings. We talked about the back four. We talked about the new kids. We talked about the 4-4-2.
We got to talk about conference change.
That's how we end this.
That's possibly next to stadium the biggest thing, probably. Yeah. I mean, because this is a whole new beast, all new demons.
Yeah.
We had our demons last season. We had thorns in our side. We had a ton of them.
Yeah.
We had we had Zelarayan's and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like
there is a relief about not being in the East. Don't have to face Zelarayan twice. We do have to play Columbus away though. This season.
That's right. That's right. And it's not like we're completely out of like teams in the West.
We get to play Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. There's teams in the East we still But it's just weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to go up against Sporting KC.
That's happening soon, friend.
That's a good team.
That's a good team.
That's a good team.
That's a good team. Well, we had to, but the good news is that we started the season on the road against arguably the best team in the MLS,
and went
1-0 up, and we beat them.
I mean, yeah,
and we beat them, we beat them, and it wasn't. So the thing that was bothering me, most of our watchers probably either were. Watched on the MyTV 30.
That was
and you got to hear Jamie and John.
That's right. Yeah, it was Jamie and John
doing their thing. Well, I watched on the ESPN streaming app because I was in Chicago for another thing, and the ESPN folks. They did not. They were just like, oh, this was just a smash and grab game for Nashville.
Really?
They didn't really dominate this game, and they were just wrong.
Yeah,
they were just wrong.
That's not true.
They were just wrong. They were just
the
whole game. They were just expecting Seattle to take over the game and really impose their will on Nashville.
That didn't happen,
and that didn't fucking happen because they couldn't do that.
They couldn't. No, our defense was locking it down way too much in the middle.
Their midfield was outclassed by our midfield.
They were saying that it was.
They called it a smash and grab.
I don't think that's right. I don't think the score reflects. What actually happened? Yeah. I mean, maybe if we take a look at like corners and like defended corners, like some ratio there, it'll start to make more sense.
Or where percentage of the play on the field was like,
if you look at that, the second half we were absolutely. The first half, I think it was a little more even, but the second half, I think. Especially once like Bunbury came on, it was explosive.
Yeah, and once we got the goal, we kind of bunkered up a little bit and played a little bit more defensively.
Yeah.
And so maybe the reason why they said that was because only at the end of the game did it look like Seattle held the ball most and they were kind of pressing on us.
But aside from that, it was either when it came to possession, probably closer to neck and neck, and then second half for like 2/3 of it was us. I mean, honestly, it was us. I mean, So I found that offensive to me. Like there was just these commentators showing up thinking that Seattle was at home season opener against a team that's good, but they're not Seattle, and they couldn't shake that. Sometimes reality doesn't quite match expectations.
When your expectations, you got to change your views.
Or you should at least.
You should. And so, but the other thing about the conference change is, okay, so we've got the familiar folks that we just hate to play, we love to hate, and we some of them we just sort of hate to watch them do their thing against us, which is the fucking Zelarayan. Yeah. Watching that guy dribble the ball against us is just on the one hand it's like, oh my God, that guy is so beautiful with the ball.
No, yeah, but then you're just
why don't see him do it against somebody else?
Do it against someone else, not us. I don't like that.
Oh man, but it's a whole new kettle of other players. Right? It's like how many teams from. I think we played RSL away. We played Austin here.
Yeah.
We didn't play a lot of Western teams.
We didn't play any of either of the LA teams.
Neither of the LA teams. Yeah. We played at Rio Tinto real early.
Yeah.
But like
we didn't play Sporting.
There's just not a lot of Western teams we played last season. Season before we played Dallas a lot and things like that. But I'm just curious as to I didn't watch a lot of Western games.
Yeah.
Like I watched El Tráfico.
Well, you gotta watch that.
Yeah,
right? You gotta watch that. But aside from that, I didn't really.
Yeah,
I didn't keep up as much.
I watched one of the Portland-Seattle games. Yeah. Which was fucking fantastic.
Portland, yeah. That's another thing. Portland, we have to deal with that. But I watched a bit of the Sporting KC as someone from Kansas City.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're a good team, and I mean, Saloy, he's a really fantastic player. He's a really fantastic player, and so it's going to take a lot to lock him down. I'm going to be curious to see how that game goes.
they lost Busio, so that was the.
Oh yeah, it's off to Italy.
That was that was the thing. So that's
the boy wonder, man.
That knocks him down quite a bit. Actually,
wasn't he like one of the youngest people to play in the MLS?
Yeah.
Like.
It was
5. How old was Busio? How old was Busio?
But yeah, no, he was insane, and yeah, that actually is not as bad as I'm. Because every time I think Sporting KC, I think Busio, and without him, it's not like they suck now, but it's not the same. It's like if we lost Mukhtar, you know.
Yeah, and they had some aging. I mean, they had some aging stars, and Zusi. And I don't know, and I just don't know if I haven't even kept up with him. Is he gonna play? I don't know. But
that's a good question. Yeah. I haven't even looked.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
We'll
with
find
the
out.
Western teams, I'm like, what's happening?
I haven't seen them. I watched a little bit of them in the playoffs. I watched a little bit of the Western side in the playoffs, but that's it.
But aside from that, yeah. I guess we'll find out together.
Yeah, that's right.
All of us in the new stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. NSC Fan TV.
Signing off.